Hey guys, it's 21 Maxwell here, and welcome to the Evolution will be televised Wrestlemania 19. We're just short of a sold out carrier dome here. We just missed the 49,000, but we should have an elite pay-per-view here with both Raw and SmackDown represented. Couldn't do the ladder match. One of the broadcasters thought it was too risky. Couldn't even put someone through a table for an angle. So we are pretty limited in what we're able to do. It is mostly singles matches. Or, as I say, if there is multiple people in it, then it will have obviously the usual kind of rules, no special stipulations. But regardless, we hope it's a stellar show. So I'm just going to do the usual intro very quickly and straight into what should be an action-packed show. As always, thanks for taking time out of your day to come and watch what should hopefully be a good show. And again, any comments regarding, as I say, this save, your own save, wrestling in general, let me know how you feel about the wrestling business in general, and usual like, share, subscriptions, all that jazz, people appreciated. So, let's jump into the show. Hyping up our two main events, where the usual pyrotechnics, hype videos you get before WrestleMania, and it is going to be, of course, Shawn Michaels and Triple H going at it for the World Heavyweight Championship, and the big one, Stone Cold Steve Austin against a man who's never beaten at WrestleMania, The Rock. So that's an A90 segment to start the show. Crowd sorter, strong start, 2 segments, advance. Opening contest sees the Cruiserweight Championship on the line. It was a decent matchup that saw Rey Mysterio defeat Billy Kidman, Matt Hardy, Nunzio, Jamie Noble and Tajiri in 10:39. When Mysterio defeated Nunzio with a 619. New Cruiserweight Champion, which is of course Ray. So opened up with a respectable C64, obviously a mixture of overness here, but I feel like we need to try and promote everyone in the Cruiserweight division, so if we can give the most over guy the title, hopefully that can then benefit the likes of Nunzio working with him, Tajiri, Jamie Noble, etc. going forward. As you can see there, Ray and Matt had the better performances. Kidman improves his Rumble skills, but it is a day for Mr. 619. After the match, Ray celebrates to a B79, getting the crowd hotter as they celebrate to him raising the championship. We then move on to the triple threat tag team match for the tag team championships of Raw, the world tag titles. And a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. The team of Lance Storm and William Regal defeated the Dudleys in a 3-minute warning in 9:38 when William Regal defeated Devon with a handful of attacks. So they cheat to win, but Regal and Storm make their second title defence to a respectable B79. You can see there, in terms of in-ring performance, Dudley's ahead of William Regal just. Lance Storm, as I say, will get there over time, and Rose and Jamal are a long-term project. They weren't quite ready to go over, unfortunately, just yet. A couple of skill improvements. Thankfully, didn't have to keep anyone looking strong, but pretty decent, and hopefully we can build on that post-WrestleMania. Next up, and about that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, I decided to keep Mark Henry looking really strong, so we had him lose to Kane, but via disqualification. So B-73, you could argue it's a waste off Kane, but working with these kind of guys is only going to help Mark Henry. The storyline does gain a bit of heat, and a good few negatives there. Poor psychology, stamina, booking decisions, but the way it is in the card, you would get a match like this on one of these WrestleManias, so not too downhearted by that. And after it, Mark Henry beats down Kane, just really showing that he is the dominant monster on the Raw brand, and I get a fantastic B+88, so I'm hoping that gets Mark a good boost in overness. Storyline advances, gaining a little bit of heat. Again, on the Raw side of things, we had Booker T and Goldust hyping up their matchup against Evolution, so it's going to be everyone bar Triple H, sorry. So it's 2v3. We all know the storyline here. Randy Orton has stolen, really taunted Goldust even with his former wife, flirting with him, and it's just went from there on and on. So B77. Match itself, again a B79, that seems to be the regular occurrence for the show. A decent matchup, numbers games pays dividends here, as Evolution wins in 11:34, when Batista defeats Goldust by using underhanded tactics. Booker T, best performance in the match. In terms of actual performances, you can see there, 57 for Goldust and 82 for Booker T, 70 for Ric Flair, and yeah, pretty decent all round. Batista and Orton, as I say, for their first WrestleMania, they'll get better and better from the 60 odd grades they've got there. A few performance skill increases. Disappointing that Flair was done with stamina, but that's to be expected. Next up, Eric Bischoff has confirmed that Trish Stratus' injury has taken her out of WrestleMania, which is very disappointing. Bischoff then has decided that it's going to be Victoria defending her championship against Jazz, Molly Holly, and he's going to give an opportunity to SmackDown's Tori Wilson after agreeing a deal with Stephanie McMahon. Just as I say, Tori's been really good on SmackDown and deserves a title opportunity, so that's the storyline we're working with. Bischoff came across well, C-57. It was hard to kind of write that into a storyline, but three heels against each other just would have been carnage. So, match itself, poor match, but Victoria defeats Molly Holly, Jazz and Tori Wilson in 6:40 when Victoria defeated Tori Wilson with Widow's Peak. It was her second title defence. Tori the weak link here, as you can see, the other females all had 50 odd performances. I expected them to carry Tori in this environment, and she's never been known as an actual wrestler. Let's be honest, she was more so eye candy, but you never know in this kind of save. We could maybe get our skill set up to something really good. So D plus 50 is pretty okay. I'm not too disheartened with that. I believe this was our storytelling match of the day. Yep. But you get something like Tori with poor basics, poor psychology. Modmaker wasn't very kind to her, but we have to respect that. Next up, it was the WWE tag titles on the line. A decent matchup saw Los Guerreros defeat Team Angle in 11:33 when Eddie Guerrero defeated Shelton Benjamin with a frog splash. Fourth title defence is good to see. And the weak link was Charlie Haas, the strongest man in this match, of course, Eddie Guerrero. But the B79 curse hits again. You can see there very contrasting in-ring performances there, but it's up to us to build up the soon-to-be world's greatest tag team when they eventually split from Angle down the line. Next up, Christian's hyping up the Fatal 4-Way match for the IC title. Of course, this was meant to include, obviously, other people like Scott Steiner, but they have to do certain things and get themselves taken out matches, so it's down to Fatal 4-Way. Of course, it couldn't be a ladder match because of our our broadcasting partner, so it's going to be Christian, Rhino, Chris Jericho and DDP. Christian says DDP's already ruined one of his WrestleMania moments, but winning the European title, not again. So B plus 88. Match itself, B78. So that's quite a bit disappointing. Good matchup though, and it saw Rhino shock the world and defeat Jericho, Christian and DDP in 13:30 when Rhino defeated Christian with the Goa. So DDP were an annoying gimmick because obviously I'm going to go with that gimmick he had with WWE. Obviously wound up Christian, but it was an initial rating of awful, which is poor. A 61 rating as well, so he's obviously had a bad physical decline. That's cool, I don't think he's on too long a contract anyway. Other three performers, Chris Jericho and Christian, very good. Rhino, not so much. Reason for Rhino winning the championship? I just feel, in this case, with the promo skills of both Chris Jericho and Christian, they can carry a feud as chasing the champion who's just going to destroy people with the gore. So that was my thoughts with that. Overall, yep, as expected, poor gimmick, declining physical ability, and obviously way to protect DDP and Chris Jericho in the finish, but it is what it is. But then have an over-the-top rapping entrance from John Cena, which got us a B-73. His match was, of course, the triple threat match, and I haven't put the US title on the line. That's a rookie mistake. That's fine, I'll just have to fix that on SmackDown. It shows you have to proofread everything before you book a show. This is why I don't book shows at like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. But great wrestling match, good heat. John Cena defeats Benoit and Edge in 1939 when Cena defeated Benoit with the attitude adjustment after his manager, the Big Boss Man, interfered. So numbers game works out here. Of course, we had Edge saving Benoit on SmackDown, but that's cool. I've made a stupid mistake there. Cena will get the championship on SmackDown. We'll just write it in as to defend it. So B80, 3 good performances, and I don't see it being very long until John Cena makes the main event. And of course, we had to keep Benoit looking strong there. So yeah, not horrible. Next up in a superb matchup, we had Brock Lesnar and Hulk Hogan defeat the Big Show and the A-Train in 706 when Lesnar defeated A-Train with an F5. A B79 suffered because of the lack of selling. With this matchup, it was a case of, the past and the future teaming up against Paul Heyman's 2 lackeys, or big lackeys in this case, and getting the win. So basic match there. A-Train improves, but we all knew this was obviously going to be a babyface team win. Question I want to ask you guys, would you rather have seen Lesnar and Hogan against these two, or Undertaker in a handicap match? Next up, Kurt Angle is cutting his promo against The Undertaker. He says he doesn't care if Taker's unbeaten at WrestleMania, he's going to be the first man to make the dead man tap. That was a B plus 86 for Kurt Angle. Taker does his big intro at WrestleMania, cool entrance. He comes down on his motorbike to a B plus 85, so that was good to see. Pretty cool that was in the mod. Match itself was exceptional. Undertaker does defeat Kurt Angle in 1936. Tombstone Piledriver. He wins the WWE Heavyweight Championship. Very good rating, I'm pleased with that. 2 good performances. A storyline that gains heat. Come on, I wasn't going to break the streak, not this early. If it is going to be broken, I'm probably going to break it to an up-and-comer if it is going to be broken sooner than it was in real life. But 2 skill improvements for The Undertaker is good to see. Apparently it wasn't a associated storyline. God, that could have been even better. But still positioned pretty decent on the card. Taker celebrates after it, so he gets an A89, real star of the show, good to see. And the hype video hypes up Triple H and Shawn Michaels, so that's an A90 for that. You've obviously got to document their feud, their history together, and a hype video really showing how much is on the line in this match. And we've had 1 championship change hands, we're not having 2. Exceptional matchup, Triple H defeats Shawn Michaels in 21:43 with a handful of the tights. Triple H makes the 3rd defence of the World Heavyweight title. An absolutely fantastic A98, 98, sorry. Great from those guys, 2 good performances. A storyline that gets more heat behind it. And yeah, just negative was Michael Cole. But you can see there, Ric Flair was meant to be managerial interference just to taint the victory. And yeah, just work it to a big finish. But overall, great for they two. Brock cuts a promo just saying he's going to finally get his win over Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's going to prove he's not only the biggest superstar in Hollywood, but also in the WWE. So hyping that match up, B plus 88. Like the last match, you've got to build up the history of Rock and Austin. Detail, the 2 of them coming up through WWE, both having feuds over the Intercontinental Championship, the other 2 matches at WrestleMania, and how this is the big final match. Potentially. Who knows? Remember, WWE said once in a lifetime for Cena and The Rock. So I don't know what I could do, but let's see how the main event goes. Could make or break the show. Not too disheartened at that. There was a reason why I thought it would maybe flop a wee bit, and you can see that in the notes. Sensational wrestling, fantastic heat. The Rock does get his win over Austin in 1945 with underhanded tactics. I do like to use a lot of the heels winning by underhanded tactics. It makes it shows if they cheat to win. Just the way I like to do it. I know a lot of heels did win here, but as I say, it is building to the future, and some of them did need the wins. But regardless, great chemistry for these guys. A92. Match suffered through a lack of psychology, so that's going to take a big blast to the rating. Not enough selling. It's going to take a blast to the rating. But both guys nailed a 100, so easily if these guys had the psychology and were selling, we'd be looking at an A-star 100 match. But it is what it is. Austin, well, again we have to see what happens with this mod. Does Austin walk out? How long do we get The Rock for before he goes to Hollywood? Does he go to Hollywood? I don't know, but Rocky we could maybe teach psychology of the right workers, as he's still an age I feel in game that he can learn. The Rock improved Rumble skills, and that's a reason you don't get a massive grade, like 100, and Austin's declining physical ability as well. You've had so many heels, man, you don't like to leave Mania on a sore note, so let's have Austin stun The Rock to finish the show. So 8-star 100 there, storyline continues, but as I say, they'll go their separate ways. My only fear here is we only had a few attractive women in the show. Don't know if the ratio will work because we have a lot of male athletes, so let's find out. Yep, I had a feeling that was going to happen a little bit. Despite us having a fatal 4-way with a woman, apparently only 2 of those were attractive. I'm assuming it's went Tori Wilson and Victoria. So it was 57 males to 2 females. The depth just isn't there, so I say it's something I'm going to have to look to promote or sign female athletes. But regardless, a B+88 is good, as we're still really learning the mod, seeing who works together, and yeah, I'm not too disheartened by that as a first WrestleMania. I've certainly done a lot poorer WrestleManias and more up-to-date mods, so that's more current day. So pretty pleased. Popularity's increased in 34 regions. I think we'll praise Triple H. We'll praise. Who do we praise? Steve Austin, and we'll go Shawn Michaels. What I was saying as well is even if we had Trish, we still would have failed it because she'd have replaced Tori Wilson anyway. So it's cool. It just means I need to unfortunately do more bikini contests just to get the attractive women on the show. So we'll jump back into the main screen as that'll hit the first week of April. I done a live band as well, a major live band, just to try and, well, boost the rating up a wee bit. Let's see here. XPW owner Rob Black was arrested. Okay, I'm assuming that must have happened in real life. I don't know. Kevin Kelly's gone. I didn't need him. Show get fantastic reviews. That's good to see. Something like Shawn here. He came up just after WrestleMania. You'll likely see him soon. And yeah, this little man's put him up into developmental. I thought I was going to sign a written deal with somebody else, so I panicked to sign him, but he's there. We're going to bring in Goldberg as well. Probably won't fear with The Rock, but you never know. But as I say, we'll not try and sign too many guys for the Indies. But I know Kenta or Hideo Itami is obviously properly in the, we'll say Indies. I know he's not technically an Indie, but as I say, we'll let him sit in OVW for as long as possible, and then eventually we'll start to phase away from what the WWE was at this time, and it'll probably be more of a fictional roster going forward. But as I say, Kevin Kelly's gone, a 2.20 buy rate, 26 grand on drug testing. Lesnar doesn't like Rosie. Probably Dudley doesn't like Shelton. And Heat last night got a 0.77. Cool. Before we round up then, I wanted to Prestige is at a good level. Momentum is at 88. That's a lot of pissed off people because they weren't on the pay-per-view. Weren't on WrestleMania. Just click on Crash. Missing WrestleMania. Cool. Of course, at this point, we didn't have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I'll sort it out. I'll give him a morale boost or something, a bit of a bonus. But cool things to look at financially. 4 million profit. That's good because, as I say, we did spend a good bit more on show costs. So as long as we're not going to be in debt, which, as I say, we've already made 12 million, so that won't be happening anytime soon. And size-wise, yeah, company is continuing to move towards international, but as I say, no rush at the moment. Just, as I say, get familiar with the save, build up active Raw and SmackDown rosters, look at developmental, if I can find it. So seeing for that, try to see if there's any female athletes. Linda Miles, Jackie Gator, Gail Kim, Alexis Laree, so we probably will have to dip into the free agency market and see if we can bring in. But you never know, some of these people will seek to make the main roster in the upcoming months. So just watching, guys, much appreciated, and we'll be back to the normal format of This Week in WWE with Raw and then SmackDown, and hopefully some OVW debutantes. But just watching, take it easy, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.